Hello there. Well, this is the resin room. I'm Martin, head of resin, or resineer, as I like to be known as. So, what we do here, well, what I do mostly, and two others that aren't here at the moment because they're, what time is it? Well, 11:30, early lunch, hiding, something like that. Well, quick tour of the facility perhaps. What we've got is, as artwork's produced, which I've put up because it's prettier than no artwork, is once it gets sent back from the artist, and the concept artist even, it gets sent to digital modelers, and those guys will then send over STLs to me, and I will spend my time making sure that, one, it's actually physically moldable, that we can print it. I'll then start adding kind of geometry to make sure that we don't get any air bubbles in our models, that I can produce a piece with a nice, simple, easy split line, so nice and pretty. On here at the moment, I'm working on the second version of our Radru Rashah. You would have seen the single piece one in the 2+ set on the Kickstarter, but this one is the multi-part one, so we've got good poses, nastiness, and that'll be in the, it's an add-on section. 3D printer, buzzing and clicking away for, well, 20 hours out of every day. So we've got this bad boy in-house because we used to do it externally. It's not that interesting at the moment, it's just in the reservoir. Externally, but having this on site means that any modifications we want to do, or change of scale, or new poses, or extra kind of weapon options, are literally a 24-hour turnaround. So from CAD to print to production mold, we can do it in about 2-3 days. So that's the big expensive thing that keeps us all going. I'll run you through the kind of process. So actually, we've got them up here. So they come off the printer in this kind of form. So we'll have nice kind of guys. Here's a Rashah, it's the priest, I think. So that's literally how it comes straight out of the printer. So there'll be a mild bit of cleanup, and I get put into production mold, and I'll sprawl the parts up so it's easier to see. And then they have, well, it's not the same one because it's not been molded yet, but so here's our multi-piece capo. So the resins we use here are toy-safe resins, so they're not going to poison you, but you can still choke on them, so don't eat them. But the reason we use these resins is because they're kind of flexible, so you get a nice bend on your miniature, but not like board game resin that warps. But so you drop this boy, it'll bounce before it'll break, and then keeps the sword nice and pointy. Yeah, we formulate our own kind of blends of resin here, so depending on what we're casting, if it's a thick object or kind of thin, so that they all cure at the same kind of speed, but mostly so that they don't shrink, so that we can produce models every day and they'll all still fit together if they're used from different batches. But you might see, like, odd change in color, and that's because it's heat and time dependent. So the resin will slightly change to get the same results each time we cast it. Little working area for me. So every time I produce a miniature, I'll mold him once, then cast him out a dozen times, clean those all up, which I'm currently working on, and then those are used to make the production mold. So like we've got living over here on this set of shelves, where about 200 RumbleSlam sets weight. So with this set, I cleaned up about 1,200, 1,500 parts. So these are all tools waiting for their mold boxes to be glued around, silicone poured on them. And yeah, that was a small bit of work. Carnevale has got at least double the model quantity, so there's going to be about 800 to 1,000 parts-ish in that set. So I've got a lot of masters to make, a lot of things. If you come through to our actual resin room, I can show you where the belly of the beast is, where usually someone's chained to this chamber for about 12 hours a day, pumping out miniatures. So this is this morning's run that sadly I'll be doing today. This is all RumbleSlam 2-player sets, and here, ones that we can demold now if you wish, are Carnevale masters. So every mold lives in his frame. I'll take off any excess flash. So this is how all the production molds are made, but every master mold will have unique objects in it. So let's see what we've got in this one. And I literally extract out nice and simply. So that is straight out of the mold. Nice madman. And if I've done my job right, it should be near seamless, but there'll always be the occasional tooling mark. So I'll spend my time making sure that he's nice and clean before I then use him to make production mold. So yeah, we've got painter, mask maker, and all these come out with all their kind of moulding structure attached. Ideally, I don't snip anything I don't have to, so that everything is nice and pretty as it comes straight out the mold. And any one time, whoever's working in this room will run about 100 to 200 molds a day. So each person's producing a few thousand parts each every single day. Also, here's an interesting one for the Rumble Slam players out there. Pre-released Warrior, armless at the moment, but he's coming soon. And other than that, I'm trying to think what else. We use medical grade silicons so that they don't leach any kind of silicon oil, so that your models don't, well, I'd always wash them, but they don't need it standard. We also don't use any wax release. We use a kind of a formulated release purely designed for miniatures, so that the paint will adhere to the resin a bit easier. Because one thing I hate is having spraying something and then it all falls off. But you still need to use good paint. And that is it in a nutshell, really. And this is where I live most of my life at the moment. And it's a fun place. Thank you very much.